Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's your resident Rippeteer, Noble, and we are back again with another Gunpla building stream. And today we are finally going to wrap up this experiment, this hand brushing candy coat experiment that we've got going on. And depending on how the results go tonight, we shall determine whether or not we finish this kit hand brushing a candy coat. If it doesn't go well, we'll just switch over to airbrush. Obviously, we'll have to wait until the season is ready for it, but until then, we'll just hand brush and see how tonight goes. So, just a quick recap. We've already got the black layer on, the clear black, and let me just pull out a piece. So this is what the clear black layer looked like, directly on top of a primer. And then last time we streamed, we applied the silver. Here's the silver. And now the silver has kind of leveled out and cured. Some of it cured nicely, I must say. I was pretty impressed with how it leveled as I just let it sit there. And so today we're going to be hitting it with the clear red. And we're going to see how that goes. Here I have the Accretion Clear Red. And for clear paints, we don't need to thin it, luckily enough. So that makes my job easy. We just need to shake it up a bit. So let me just shake it off camera, so I don't get you guys all dizzy. All right, I think that should be good enough. We'll probably give it a quick stir just to double check. Let's get started. All right, so there's that covering. All right. We're gonna be extra frugal with our paints. We're gonna be using the paint on the lid as well. Yeah, it's quite thin. I mean, I guess I can thin it out a little more. It's not going to make that much of a difference. Alright. And let's start with the head cap here. So far, it looks okay. Oh, the back looks really nice. It's not bad. I guess if I wanted it to be a more darker shade, I would have put less silver. Let a little bit more of the black peek through. Now what happens if I try to thin the clear paint? Because I am not airbrushing it. So maybe I do thin it. Give me 1 second. Let me put some thinner on. Let's see how this thinner goes. Oh. Okay, so they say you don't need to thin the clear paints, but thinning it definitely makes it easier to apply. Color me surprised. As long as I don't brush like too hard, it does stick quite nice. All right. So it is turning out pretty nicely, I must say. But we will have to wait until this cures to get the full scope of how well it came out. You know, despite them saying acrylics should be odorless, it does have a little scent to it. I'm not gonna lie. It smells like the water paints that you used in elementary school. I was just adding a little more thinner to the paint to encourage self-leveling. There we go. Okay, so we'll just leave it like that for now. On to the next piece. I like it. I think this might work. We might just end up continuing with the rest of the kit this way. Alright, this mask. I really hope the mask turns out well. Oh. Let me just shake this up a little bit now that I've put some thinner in, just to get it to mix well. Just make sure I close that tightly. Give it a good shake. Okay. Should be okay. It's gonna get some on the lid, but that's fine. We'll just use it. Okay, grab our mask. Off we go. And then because the grooves are so small here, we need to make sure that we run our paintbrush through to get rid of the excess paint. And then any air bubbles that form too. But yeah, you can kind of see through the left side. The paint's formed like a little bit of a web, which you kind of need to get rid of. Oh. We'll just take some skewer bristles and just run it through to get rid of the excess paint. There we go. So now you can see the gaps kind of open back up. Not much we can do about it, just be careful, you know? Let's get the back of the mask as well. And when we hit it with the top coat, we can hit it with a gloss coat. That'll make it shine even more. Maybe I do take some paint out and just thin it. I think thinning it is the way to go. Oh. That's unfortunate, Law. Let's go grab these ears. Where'd my second ear go? Oh, there. Okay. Alright, maybe I just set out some thinner on the side so I don't have to use the cutting mat. Let's do that. Okay. All right. On we go. Just one shot. definitely did a bit of an overkill in paint there. Something I don't have to click on. Let me think on that one. Okay, we're starting to get some air bubbles. Which is not good. Welcome back, Evan. How was practice? That's nice. No, you didn't. I think it's just we're starting to add the reds to the candy coat. And we're gonna see whether it's worthwhile to continue like this, or maybe we just switch over to airbrush to finish it. After I'm finished painting it. So yeah, I've already gotten some pieces of it done, the candy coat. You can let me know what you think. It still needs to dry, but just move the red out of the way. And then the helmet. Nah, man, it's all good. I mean, if it floats your boat, mate. If it floats your boat. Shit. Yo, Sandy, welcome back. We just started. But I think tonight's going to be a bit shorter of a stream, if I'm being honest. We're just going to try to get the reds onto these painted bits. And we'll just... No, I'm not streaming until 6 a.m. There's no way. We're just going to get this candy coat on, and then we'll determine whether or not we finish the kit hand brushed or we use an airbrush. But if we use an airbrush, we're going to have to wait till it's warmer. So then this will be another project on hiatus. It's just how it is. I'm trying to not kill myself before vacation. If you know, you know. Now this backside came out okay. The front is a little bit lacking. Record what? Oh, me? I'm gonna be going to Japan actually. All right, I see it. An Ara Ara for Gavin. All right, all right. Give me 1 second. All right, you ready? Ara Ara. There you go. There's your Ara Ara. Well, better get saving before the prices go up. All right. And then because it's gonna hang like towards the bottom where it's clipped, I can probably just leave it here to dry and it should self-level. All right. For the arm. As always, the flat pieces are definitely a lot more annoying to get a coat on. Once you hit these curves, kind of gets pretty nice. Oops. So trying to get the paint out of the little gaps and the crevices. Oh, yeah? I mean, I see it. Hydrate. You're right. Okay, so for the hydrate one, I do have... Oh, it isn't focused on the paint? Can you see it? Oh, I see it. Yeah, I have some tea actually. It looks like coffee. It's actually tea. No, it's very rude to slurp your tea. We gotta have manners here. We are very well-mannered, chat. Or at least I hope you guys are. I believe you guys are. I don't doubt it. Not one bit. Exactly. Sandy knows. Alright. I say this is not too bad, actually. For hand painting. It's coming along quite nicely. Good luck on your science test. Hopefully you're ready for it. Yeah, actually, you know what? They're not wrong. Physics and chemistry in particular. Alright, personally, I found chemistry a lot harder than physics. Because with physics, you can at least visualize some of it. But with chemistry, you just can't visualize it at all. All of you asked me, I think with I think most engineering fields require both to some extent, right? Yeah. Personally, I was more of a physics. I liked physics more than chemistry. A lot of the science fields that you go into, engineering or life science, require chemistry. Actually, all of them require chemistry, right? The only difference is like engineering majors don't require biology, and biology doesn't really require physics. However, when you're doing your applications, having chemistry or having physics or biology goes a long way for your application. It makes it look better than if you took like a different course that's not sciences. biology is just straight memorizing, right? There's no real application per se of biology. So it is definitely the easiest one to test for. Whereas in chemistry and physics, there's a lot of like application that they test you on. Physics in particular. Yeah, I mean, you can't just explain a job by its pay. Yeah, that's for sure. Can definitely will require physics and biology. And then if the job requires like the prescription of medication or anything related to medicine, you will need chemistry as well. Oh, I'm sure you'll pull through. It's just how closely do you want to cut it? Right? I mean, didn't you say you wanted to be a kinesiologist? Wait, Sandy, you know how he looks? Interesting. I see. Alright, this piece is a little bit more annoying to candy coat. I don't doubt it. Sandy seems like a very diligent person, hardworking and studious. Okay. I am going to grab some cotton swabs to soak up some excess paint. Alright, here we go. So, with the excess paint, we just grab a cotton swab and we'll just roll it over. Especially when we get it into the little grooves. Because then it mucks up the detailing. And we'll just add some more paint afterwards. I think that's kind of important. I've been kind of looking for some better earbuds too. My current ones, they're good, but you literally can't hear anything else that's going on around you. So like for streaming, it's fine, but I can't really use it outdoors. Currently, I don't know. I just use these Sony earbuds. I've had it since 2018. I want to say, yeah, about 2018. They're wired though. I have so the new phones nowadays, they don't have audio jacks for you to plug in a headphone. So I'm using earbuds from work right now. Yeah, dude. Honestly. All right, some wisdom for chat. When you're trying to buy something or when you're thinking about buying something, right? A lot of the times people just look at the price. But you have to consider, how long is that particular item going to last you? For example, you look at towels, right? Say you get a towel that is like really cheap for $5, right? Now that towel, sure, it only costs you $5, but it lasts you 1 year, right? So that means every year you need to spend $5 on a towel, versus say a quality towel runs you $30, maybe, lasts you 10 years, right? Yeah, at first it looks like a $30 towel, not very worth it. But then you think about it and you compare it to the $5 towel that you have to change every year. And it takes you look at it in the long run, and that higher quality item up front sets you back more, but it lasts you longer, and ultimately it's more value for you, right? So especially for electronics, right? That's a commonly overlooked. For peripherals more especially. That's something that is often overlooked. Yeah, comfort and enjoyment is also a big thing. Like, sure, you don't have to be someone who's like crazy knowledgeable about audio, right? Oh, the bass is so good on this one, and like that one has very nice treble register, etc., etc. Love advice? Depends on what you want to know, right? I think, okay, so I think it's important that you how do you talk to girls? Well, how do you talk to normal people? Girls are people, right? You talk to them as you would a normal human being. No, well, Law, here's the thing, right? It's not... The thing is, like, you have to understand what it is that you're looking for, right? As with all things. If you know what you're looking for, right? Okay, but Gavin, you have to remember, right? Yeah, it depends on you. So if you say things like specific, especially nicely, right? If you're being especially nice and you're going out of your way to do it, right? Is that something that you can keep up long term? Right? If you can't keep it up long term, then the whole thing falls apart the moment you kind of lower your guard, right? Because the moment you lower your guard, then everything that you've built up until that point comes crashing down. And when it comes crashing down, it hurts a lot more, right? It hurts you a lot more. Yeah. It's not used to the things you say around your friend. Well, that's just a byproduct of the age you guys are at, right? Ultimately, it really depends. Like, what are you looking for in that particular relationship? Is it something casual, or are you trying to be more serious about it? For me, I like to take my relationship seriously. So I don't commit until I actually feel, 80, 90%. And then and not only that, it's like, what are the things that you look for, right? Okay. Now here's the thing. Here's the trick for you guys. All right? Sandy, Gavin. If you're casually talking to a girl and you're into her, right? The moment people call you guys out as a couple, right? Lean into it. You lean into it and you own it, right? You say like, no, not yet, right? Take it on the chin. The last thing you want to do is shy away from it and act like nervous, be nervous or deny it. The last thing you want to do is deny it. That shoots your chances immediately on the spot. Right? But if you take it on the chin, and even if it's not the case, right? You take it on the chin and it just makes you look a lot more mature. Makes the other people around you that are teasing you about the whole couple thing, make them look like children. And then when you stand next to them, you're like the adult in the room. Right? So that's kind of the approach that you would take. Now, as for talking to them, right? You just talk to them normally. Treat them like normal people. Now, if you generally treat people like, if you're like an ass to people in general, then it doesn't matter. Yeah, JJ is married. He's off the market, guys. But yeah, the best advice I can probably give you guys, right? The best advice I can give you guys is know what you want, right? And don't let other people tell you what you want. Don't care what other people think, right? It's your relationship, it's your life. Why does it matter what opinions your peers, your friends might have, right? They don't dictate your relationship. You dictate it. Now, that said, right? There's no need to rush it either. I don't think, at least. There's a time and place for everything. And sometimes it's just not your time. And that's okay. Okay, so that depends, right? That really depends on the person. Can you balance it? Can you balance your own needs? Your own needs, whether they be emotional, academic, or etc., on top of the other person's needs, whatever they may be. And you can call me old-fashioned, right? Or not, up to speed with the times. It is 2024. But I think relationships are something that you kind of take seriously because you're not the only person involved, right? You're affecting someone else just as much as you're affecting yourself. And when another human being is Law, you don't need to he's bluffing. There's no way. Yeah. He's just being childish. Yeah. Gavin, we're not talking about your 2D anime waifu that you have on your gacha games. Yeah, they're average. Right? 2D waifu don't count. There you go. Right? And those ones, it's like you can date whenever because they're just 2D fictional characters. But no, when it comes down to like another human being, right? Like, I can take responsibility for my own decisions that affect me. I don't want to take responsibility for someone else, or at least I'm not ready to do that. Right? Yeah. Well, so it's really to see what the other person's like, right? Because and you know what? Let's set aside the dating thing, right? Let's set aside the dating thing for 1 second. And let's think about like when people go to university. Let me just grab a sip of water because I'm being told to hydrate. Say for example you go to university. And you're moving in with and you're like gonna be living on campus with some of your friends, some of your best friends, right? they can be your best friend. And they can also be an absolute horror to live with. They can be both at the same time. That's something you have to consider, right? And so, like, when you date, you're essentially trying to get into that, see what they're like when you guys are in a more committed relationship, right? Because friends, you only see them in certain settings, but you don't know what they're like behind closed doors, right? So that's the equivalent. I'll draw like parallel for dating. It's like when you decide, when you go to university and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be crashing with my best friends. We're gonna be living on campus together. It's gonna be great. And it turns out the way they live does not mesh with yours at all, right? They let their dishes pile up. They don't clean their dishes. They don't clean the toilet, right? That might not be something you're into, or maybe that is. You don't know that. I know people that I'm not gonna confirm nor deny, right? But it is definitely a consideration. Yeah. And so the law nails it right on the head, right? Leave it to the married man to call it for what it is. It's not about finding the perfect partner, right? It's finding that one person whose flaws you can accept. Because no one's perfect. Let's just get that out of the way. Right? Yep, and they can accept you as well. It goes both ways, right? Now, obviously you can't say what the other person can or can't accept, right? That's on you to offer. But you can change how you look at things, right? And then also, for example, if the other person has certain requirements, can you look at that and be, I will do my best to meet those requirements even though I don't now, right? So there's a lot to think about. At the end of the day, just remember, like, it's all just about compatibility. Don't take it too hard if it doesn't end well. It just means that you're not compatible. I think it's how you say it, Law. Saying not to change who you are for a relationship, it's not so much like not to change who you are for a relationship, right? It's like why you are changing yourself. Right? There are some things that are like, oh, you should probably change. And some things that are like, you know, why should you change? Like, is it more, say for example, right? The person you like, wants you to like someone who goes to the gym more or exercises more active. Is that necessarily a bad thing? I don't think so. Right? That's something maybe worthwhile to consider changing if you're not already, right? If like being active is the thing you need to change. And I think that's, you know, not a bad change to make. Now, if, say, for example, they like to play tennis and you like to play badminton and they're like, no, you have to like to play tennis, then you have to think about that and be like, why? Right? So there's a difference between things that you should change and things that, you know, why should you change? Oh, Jamantle, thank you for the follow. Yeah, just in general. Welcome, welcome. So I guess Jamantle knows Gavin? I'm sorry to hear that. You have the misfortune of knowing this guy. For me? Dude, my high school social life has just been full of lessons learned. Things that you should never do. Let's just put it that way. Those are my stories in a nutshell. But I think when you get like, as you get older, I think one of the big things for me that really kind of shaped my opinions. Crazy things that happened at work. Now that I think about it, Gavin, me born in HK? Nah, man. I was born in Canada, the land of the true North, strong and free. It's all good. Yeah, the regional south. Oh, nice. Have you gone back recently? Cantonese 冇問題啊。想講咩嘢？吹水其實幾簡單，廣東話。我喺香港做過嘢，所以都識生存啦。你話睇中文字啊，跟住寫中文字又比較難啲。其實睇 OK 嘅，因為你睇認字啫嘛。有啲字覺得熟面口咁樣就認到，但係你話寫翻出嚟咁又要靠記憶，咁就難啲。哦，普通話也可以啊。Yeah. Oh, okay. So, here's a funny story about Hong Kong. So basically, me and Law, I think Law, you were there for vacation, right? And I was there for work term. At around the same time. And then, so I think one weekend, I want to say, we met up, and oh, you were also on internship? Okay. So we were both on internship at around the same time, and so we met up one weekend. And so here's the thing about Hong Kong, right? There's no restriction on drinking in public. And so us being young idiots at the time thought it would be a good idea to buy some alcohol from the supermarket and just drink it during the day. Speaking of drink, let me get some tea. And so we were just wandering around in some mall. 朗豪坊, 新旺角. I don't know. I think Jumantle will know. The one with the giant elevator or escalator. And we were just wandering around with yeah, we were looking for an arcade. Yeah, 朗豪坊嗰度。咁我哋即係開咗2罐嘢飲啦。And it's like, dude, I was I think second year, maybe barely second year. I could not hold my alcohol well, so I was like, I was like plastered. Oh, and then there was this other time, also because we were young and reckless. Second, third year, yeah. There was that time remember when we were looking for an arcade, and then we just saw this cute girl just standing there, and we just tried to ask her where the arcade was. That was crazy too. Dude, I don't know where we got those ideas from, looking back. Yeah. Let me tell you, it was not Rizzy at all. Probably. I don't doubt it, Law. Wait, Law, does your wife know about these misadventures? No, okay. This stays in here, guys. Oh, okay. Yeah. You go do that. You can say it was my fault. I'll let you have that one. Just say that it built your character and made you the man you are today. and therefore ultimately ended well. Because guys, remember, what happened in the past stays in the past. Don't let it affect the person you are today. Although I guess saying that is kind of moot with how hung up everyone is on things like their past traumas and whatnot. Which is not to say that it's not important, right? People do have past traumas growing up. But I think there's a difference between like having those traumas and having it impact making you the person you are today and letting your traumas define you. If you didn't talk at all and stood there like a statue, do you think you can get Rizzy? I somehow get the feeling that you would be more Rizzy with your mouth closed. If you said, not to say not talk at all, but if you talked less, I think it would have been better off. Right? There's a fine line, right? Actually, no, there's not a fine line. There's a very clear line between talking more than you should and talking just enough, right? There's a time and place for everything. And it's kind of having that social awareness to know when to talk and how much to talk, right? See, like, those are unnecessary comments, no? Yeah, so that's where having a filter is important. No, man. They're all here for the candy code, no? Not the candy. All right. But yeah. I think social awareness is like being able to read the room, right? And adapt. Oh my god, we haven't changed it. It's not factual, by the way. Anyone who's reading this now, it's not factual. Okay. Personal opinion on pickup lines. Okay, what are you trying to do though? No. I'm not the master. I'm just a normal human being. Right? Like, what is your end goal? Because pickup lines, I think, as an icebreaker, yes, but even then, right? I think pickup lines are kind of shallow. Because everyone kind of knows it's a pickup line. I would rather go for a more like standard icebreaker, a conversation starter, something that can keep going. Because like if you just go for like a pickup line, I don't know what's a pickup line nowadays, right? Like, but like once you get a pickup line, once you start a pickup line, right? Where does that even go? It just ends with the punchline, gets a laugh, maybe. But if that's all you have, right? Then the conversation just dies there and it ends at that and you just look kind of silly. So sure, that's one way to get going. But do you have any extensions? Like, where are you going to go from there? Are you just going to stop at one line? Right. Like, you look at it, you look at comedians, the people who do stand-up comedy, even they have follow-ups on their jokes, right? They don't just do one joke and then stop there. They combo. So do you have a combo off your pickup line? Right? And so the thing with asking for a number, once again, what are you trying to get out of it, right? I don't know what I guess it also depends on the age, right? So like, I'm not familiar with the girls your age and what they're doing or what their look is, but I don't know if one pickup line is going to be enough to get a number, right? You at least need to have a conversation. You can't just be like, walk up to them and be like, 靚女點啊, right? 可唔可以抄你牌啊? You can't do that. You can't just walk up and like get their number like that. It doesn't work that way, right? At least nowadays it doesn't. Yeah, but it's like very very ineffective, I think. If you're trying to get into a relationship, like long term, a serious one, obviously. If you're just doing something casual and non-committal, then it's like, whatever, man. I think, okay. This is a little bit yeah, okay, so like okay, yeah, what if you find someone on the sidewalk? What are you trying to get at? Like, once again, you treat them like they're people, right? You treat them like they're people. And at the end of the day, right? You can't expect everyone to like you, and you can't expect to like everyone. Relationships are the same, right? It doesn't even like any relationship, whether it's with like coworkers, classmates, right? Male or female, whatever gender. It's just something that doesn't really change too much, and you have to kind of accept it, right? Accept it for what it is, and it's life. Dude, okay. Nah, man. See, Law, I wingman for Law so hard. Okay, so here's what happened, right? He was teaching her how to play Smash. And I was like no mercy, just going in, like destroying her in Smash. No mercy at all. And Law would like be trying to teach her how to play. Dude, find yourself someone to wingman for you, man. JK. Wingmans are optional, but having close friends helps. All right. So for like tips on just being generally or being able to have conversations with people easier, right? Is to expose yourself to different things. A little bit of everything, you know? Like, I don't know, for example, at work, right? Um, Learn a little bit about every sport, like the professional scene. A little bit about baseball, a little bit about hockey, a little bit about basketball, even if you don't like it. If you know a little bit, right? You can have a little bit of small talk with people. And that's a great way to have conversation, right? Same thing goes for like dating. Even if you don't like K-pop or like you don't like K-drama, watch a little bit. Get to know some of these stars, the big ones, or what's trending right now. And it's generally more often than not going to be a good way to ease into conversation, you know? Like if you know the other person likes music or likes a particular artist, right? Don't just okay, here's one. Say for example, the girl that you likes no. Law. It's not about lying and say that you like it, right? You don't have to like it. But being able to talk about it and having an understanding, right? So like say for example, you don't like baseball, but you know enough about it. When you talk to someone and they ask you, you know, do you like baseball? You can say no. And here's why. And not no, I've never watched it in my life. Right? There's a difference. Oh, okay. Yeah, so like on the topic of like being more exposed to different things, right? It's like even if you don't like it, at least you can have a discussion about it. A healthy one and not one from like I don't know what's going on, right? And it shows that at least even if you disagree, you have reasons why. So like K-dramas, for example, right? If you know like girls that are like, oh yeah, they really like K-dramas for a particular reason, you know, and you don't, right? I would still say, you know, watch a few and then see if you really don't like it, or if you just like, you know, if you actually like it. And all of this is about having good communication, right? You'll a lot of times, like you hear people say, "Oh, breakups, whatnot," and a lot of it comes from and like hard breakups, especially like the ones that are like very bad, usually ends up that way because of a breakdown in communication. So the better you are at communicating, right? There's a lot more there's a lot more space, a lot more breathing room in relationships for you. Because you're able to have that, you know, let's talk. Right? Let's talk about it. As opposed to just jumping the gun. You can hear from the married man and you can hear from the single guy, right? It's like communication, very important. And you know, it's like it's okay to admit that you don't know something or you're wrong, you know? Taking that one step back, never a bad idea. But yeah. Dude, I have so much to say about that. Okay. Okay, no, no, no. Here's the thing. Hear me out, hear me out. Okay. Um, it is definitely easier when you have a car, a job, and free time. Because think about it. If you are without any of those things, right? And you want to go on a date with a girl, right? Say you want to go for dinner and a movies, right? Does not have to be expensive. Just dinner and a movies. You don't have a car. Okay, public transit. Or you get your parents to drive you. Not impossible, not impossible. Harder, harder. You need your parents to drive you to a date. Probably drive her too, because, you know, that's the courteous thing to do. You get there. You don't have a job. You don't have disposable income. You need your parents to pay for your date too. I think just from an optics perspective, and like, okay, you know what? Some people are okay with that. That's fine. For me, personally, I don't feel okay with that, right? And that's just on me. And that's okay. I don't feel comfortable with having someone else foot the bill for my relationship building. Especially if it's something that I'm interested in, right? And, you know, the whole like, who foots the bill for what? Dude, I think for me, I've made it a point where it's like, I don't really care. I am always down to pay for like first date. You know? That's like jumping the gun for sure. Like that's down the line, and you know what? That's true, 100%. But like, you know, in the now, right? Let's talk like earlier steps, earlier stages. Um, you just don't want to be able to. You don't want to be in a position where it's like, you know, having fun off of at someone else's expense, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. I think you will. You just need to kind of understand where you're at, identify where you want to be, and make efforts to get there, right? Okay, but that's the point of dating, right? Is to see whether or not it's something that you can stick with for the rest of your life or not. That's the whole point of it. So don't worry about like it not working out or it being a gamble, right? It's the whole process is discovery. Discovering what you're interested in, discovering what your current situation is like, and what you need in a relationship, right? As long as you handle any breakups respectfully and cordially, I think there's no problem with having multiple relationships. Gavin, to your question, once again, define jumping or depends on what you mean by jumping around, right? If it genuinely doesn't work out for valid reasons, then you don't hold yourself there. Yeah. Good night, Sandy. I'm almost wrapping up here too. We did get a lot of candy coats done. We might do another layer depending on how it comes out. But Gavin, it's about like why, right? If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. So be it. Right? But if it's just because of your own whims, it's like, oh, I'm not feeling it, then that's irresponsible on your part because no effort was made. Right? So if it's because of your whims, you know, then that's on you. And that, like, I can't tell you whether or not you'll be seen as like a playboy. That's for society to decide, right? And if society already decides it for you, then it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter how you see yourself if everybody around you sees you a different way. Right? Like, yes, there is that whole idea of like, yeah, don't let other people tell you who you are, or like, you know, you are yourself and you just need to be yourself and stuff like that. But there's past a certain point, like, okay, yeah, see ya, Jamantle. Gavin, if everyone calls you an asshole, right, and you don't think you are, but everybody else thinks you are, then maybe you need to look at yourself and reflect on that, right? Maybe you are in the wrong, and that's some food for thought, right? That's kind of what I wanted to leave you off with. Yeah. Yeah, it is a Thursday. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. All right, cool. I will be posting the pictures of these candy coats on Twitter once they're dry and cured. But I think overall they came out okay. Thank you, Gavin. So I think this is a good point to stop. It is a Thursday, and I was planning to just stream for a short amount of time today. Just close this bottle, and we'll hop over to the wrap up. All right, cool. Well, thank you everyone for watching. And thank you, Jamantle, for the follow. We're one away from 60. So that part's done soon. And then we'll probably jump higher. We'll go for 80 next. And once we hit 100, we'll do a little bit of a celebration stream. When we hit 10 subs, we'll probably also do a celebration stream. But, yeah. We had some nice discussion going on today. I've quite enjoyed it. I hope you guys did too. And I hope you guys learned something from it. IRL stream? Nah, I don't think IRL stream's gonna happen anytime soon. If I can get the permit for it, maybe a cooking stream at most. But that's gonna be very far down the line, because, dude, if you've seen how scuffed my Gunpla building setup is, I don't have anything set up for a cooking stream at all. I mean, yeah, we can if we plan it. But like, we'll need like your place. Man, I feel bad though. Law. Like, you're doing this for free. I feel really bad if I have to use your place for streaming. But we'll talk about it. Definitely some, like, well, it's gonna be something far down the line. Maybe for a milestone stream or something, if anything. Okay, yeah. I mean, if it's just for fun to hang out, sure. We'll do it. We'll do it just for a for if we hit. We'll talk about the milestones later. How about that? We'll work out a good milestone for it, and we'll make it like something more pizzazzy. Yeah, definitely a one-time milestone. For the cooking stream, of course, not for hanging out. I'm down to hang out whenever. But yeah, the discussion today was definitely a lot more not unrelated to Gunpla building, which is fine. I hope if you were listening, you maybe learned a thing or two, or oh, it's Endo. Hello, Endo. Yeah. Hopefully you guys learned a thing or two, or you had a moment of reflection, and if that's the case, then that's good. That's all fine and dandy. But yeah. Thank you for watching. Remember to stay hydrated, stay moist, stay wet, you know, slimy. We frogs here. And I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace.